What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about a Pokemon from the Tau Trio known as Zekrom. So Zekrom being released into Pokemon Go, a lot of people are going to have questions about just how good this Pokemon is. So we're going to be taking a look at it from the raid perspective, from the PvP perspective, figuring out what exactly it does best at, and is it worth investing into, powering it up, unlocking a secondary charge move, and of course so much more. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Before we get started with the deep dive in itself, I thought we would briefly cover some of the counters to Zekrom since so many of you are interested in that. So generally speaking, a lot of the dragon type Pokemon are going to be good up against this Pokemon. And ironically enough, Zekrom is going to end up being one of the top counters versus itself. So of course, once you get yourself a high IV one, maybe you decide to invest in it, and then you can go ahead and turn around and use it against Zekrom. We also see the new Pokemon that was released recently called Reshiram, so you've got a lot of choices here. Yes, they're a little bit more on the expensive side, so maybe on the cheaper side you start to go at it from the electric typing, maybe with a ground type attacker. That could end up being very fruitful for you. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this Pokemon. So we've got Zekrom with a max AP of 4,038. Zekrom is a dual type Pokemon of Dragon as well as the electric typing. So it actually has the exact same set of stats as Reshiram in Pokemon Go, but that is an amazing thing. We're talking about a Pokemon that has a max AP above 4,000 CP, and it definitely has the stats to prove. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We have the highlight of it being the attack stat at 275 that's ranked at 18th in Pokemon Go. We have a solid defense stat, and then we have a fairly good stamina stat. Stamina stat, of course, could be a little bit better, but it still maintains an overall ranking of 12th in Pokemon Go from a statistical perspective. But as always, we know that Niantic likes to nerf Pokemon in different ways. So is Zekrom going to end up getting nerfed to some extent because of the moveset? Well, the good news is that does not appear to be the case. We have an interesting set of moves. We've got Dragon Breath, amazing for PvP. Of course, Dragon Tail is better on the raid side, but it still has great stats, so it should be able to overcome it potentially. And then on the electric side, we've got Charge Beam. Now, Charge Beam isn't the best move, but it's also not the worst move, so it's kind of like middle of the pack. Outrage is amazing on the raid side, and Wild Charge is good from both the raid as well as PvP. So we're seeing a lot going on with it, and then Crunch is going to be an interesting move to talk about as well. It's definitely on the spammier side for PvP, so we've got no instant red flags whatsoever related to the moveset. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the raid performances. We're going to take a look at it from both Dragon as well as the electric typing, so you can see exactly how this Pokemon ends up performing. So number one, as an electric type attacker going up against the Kyogre, Zekrom actually takes over the #1 position, finally, ladies and gentlemen, surpassing Raikou. So Raikou has been in the #1 spot since its release. It's just been insane how long Raikou has held on to that #1 spot. And now you're in a situation where you're finding a Pokemon that beats it for time to win, and it ends up getting way less feints than Raikou. So Zekrom is looking like a solid investment from the electric typing. So I thought we would go ahead and run up against a Latios just to see how it ends up performing. And it is still within the top 3 from the dragon typing. So Rayquaza, always a beast. Salamence, always a beast. But Zekrom coming in 3rd is really making this Pokemon seem very viable to me from the raid side. If you're excited about that, let us know in the comment section below. The only thing that could have helped out Zekrom in this situation is having Dragon Tail over the move Dragon Breath. At the same time though, it's a little bit of a cost to benefit analysis, because at the same time with Dragon Breath, it ends up doing better on the PvP side. Dragon Tail, of course, doing better on the raid side. Unfortunately, they just don't synchronize very well. And from the PvP side, we have some incredible news related to this Pokemon. So I'm on pvpoke.com, and you can see in the Master League that Zekrom takes over the #2 spot behind Giratina Altered Form. Zekrom, ladies and gentlemen, using Dragon Breath, Wild Charge, and then Crunch as its ideal moveset, takes over the #2 position. But what exactly is Zekrom going to end up beating? This is insane. So #1, taking on that Melmetal, taking on Giratina Origin Form, and that comes up so much. But it is, of course, going to be a little bit of a tougher battle, as you can see with the battle rating. 500 means breaking even, so if something is like way above it, it means that Zekrom's gonna clear through it, like Melmetal, for example. Then we have Kyogre. Kyogre has really needed a direct counter up against it because so many grass type just can't compete at that high of a CP level. So having a Pokemon like Zekrom come in from the electric typing really puts a huge threat on Kyogre and of course all the teams centered around it. And then next we got Metagross, once again super common. And then finally we've got Palkia. So Palkia, also a very common Pokemon that will be showing up once Master League ends up wrapping around. And as far as its top counters are concerned, we do have a Togekiss to kind of worry about, but in all honesty, all of the Dragon types really had to worry about that. But regardless of that, there really aren't that many other Pokemon that are that common of an option in the Master League. So honestly, I'm thinking Zekrom is looking really good. So what exactly should you do with this Pokemon? You should definitely power it up. It's not very often that you find a Pokemon that's going to do good from multiple typings. So we've got the electric typing and dragon typing on the raid side. And then for PvP, it does amazing as well. Having access to the move Wild Charge is super helpful, as well as having access to the move Crunch. You can really use this Pokemon for so many things. It is the Swiss Army knife, but it's not just usable for everything. It's also good at many things. That is such an amazing setup for this Pokemon. So I'm definitely giving it this stamp of approval, but I would love to know what you think about Zekrom in the comments section below. Do you plan on powering it up? Do you want to use it for PvP? Do you want to use it for raids? Anything and everything, let me know in the comments section below, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.